It's the first Friday in December, and can you believe it? The countdown to Christmas is officially in full swing. Just 19 days to go. And not to be outdone, the new year is peeking right around the corner with only 25 days left in 2024. Now, this is supposed to be the season of joy, reflection, and anticipation. And here on Jasiri, we're diving into conversations that inspire action and spark change, all while keeping the holiday spirits alive. Now, whether you're sipping hot cocoa, you're decking the halls, or you're simply basking in the December vibes, we're thrilled to have you with us today. And remember, it's a Hot Topic Special Friday! Yay!
Okay. First of all, I was struggling with the size of
Yeah. So what's wrong with
They're probably trying to make adjustments for Lolo. They weren't sure she was going to have her glasses on set today. Why are you so far away?
You need to be far away.
Why?
Just because.
Go close, though. You will jam yourselves together. Yesterday, you were frolicking together with snakes. After every thing that Tolu did on this set, this table had living and non-living things.
They were all living.
I don't care. I'm saying that, to me, they were living and non-living.
Kathy was behind the camera.
Listen! Tolu, how dare you? Oh, ye daughter of Zion. What's your mommy's name again? Why? I need to report you to your mother. Tolu brought a snake. Tolu brought a snake. Like
with all your beauty, sense of adventure.
You know that I was really surprised.
Oh my God.
Like
I was surprised and disappointed.
Please.
Now come you going to do like, hey, woman commander.
I have area leader. I always leave up to anything.
Not even
never. Me and snake, FYI, like oil and water. I got nothing to do with snake. I don't play like that.
Your voice is this.
No, I was there.
Kathy was behind the camera, so the snake
you
was put away.
This one was romancing the snake. I saw you now. You were doing like this. Oh, cutie. Did you give it to him?
Now I know that money that you don't want to give me, you will give me. I don't worry. I know what to brought to your house.
No,
you say, all the money, take Lola.
The way I know that I don't do more than myself. I know they carry load with no sense. But at least I did not run away like
I ran.
I was here, I was observing. In fact, at some point when he put that thing away, I came closer, you know.
But he moved.
This one was feeling like journalist, like in the midst of fire, I'm still asking my rapid questions. Like, okay.
That's how it felt yesterday. I felt like I was in the middle of fire, but like just bounce back, just get yourself back. But I did not run, that's all I know. But anyways, we're not selfish on the set, so even after the show, we took the fun and the wildlife into the newsroom, and a lot of people were excited. Well,
and they actually put it together for you people to see. I can't believe it. Calm down. Leave me. Don't tell me to calm down. Don't tell me to.
Let's take a look.
You already know you are not going with us to Kenya. So please strike a name.
Take a look at how it went down.
I was sitting in the...
When we're going to safari,
yes, it's okay. Take a look at how it went down.
I will just
let them keep fighting.
So at what age was it? Was it?
Great. Wow.
It's okay. You got it. It's all right.
Why am I feeling something on me?
Gloria, open your eyes.
Okay, my eyes is open.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
We had fun.
We had fun.
From an experience.
Did you see how children? Did you see how people's children were sweating? Because did you see?
In fact,
to show you
I love the fact that at least 2 of them, or 3 of us, okay, so that is one of our associate producers, Gloria. She eventually conquered her fear and did actually carry the snake. Then one of our camera women, Karina, man, the sweat she broke out in, but then she conquered her fear, and then she carried the snake like 2 times, and I conquered my fears. I didn't even see this one. I know I was going to see. No backlights, no forward lights, no blinking, no lights.
Conquering other fears that matter to me. This doesn't mean anything.
But you know the thing is, in Africa, we're taught to fear animals.
Yes.
It's not a good thing.
It's not
honestly.
No one that knows how to do like this. I love your nails.
I did. It's not like my God. But you know, you need to conquer your fears. It's so paramount that you do.
Summer kitchens.
It's not a fear. I just do not like creepy crap.
Karina sweated.
Karina busted. You can see she's strong.
This one go wear sunshade like to prevent you think that the sunshade will help her fear.
She was so calm.
So this person really loved Nomso.
Human.
So it's a primate. So it made sense when they explained that it's a primate. It has thumbs, it has fingers. Even when it was gripping me at one point, like it was really strange to hear. And this is a Ganat. It's of the cat family. If you look at the 2 front paws, the 2 front paws were actually amputated because they were caught in a trap. So a lot of these animals, I think we need to have a better appreciation for the animals around us. They all play a role. He talked about the fact about the snakes, the poto, and I think which other one, even the primates, that the fact they help to keep insect and rodent populations down.
In check.
We'll continue to see an increase in things like Lassa fever because they don't have their natural predators. We're killing their natural predators, and the numbers of them are growing. So it's all a very delicate, intertwined balance. And it was an experience we all loved yesterday. I was just so happy.
When you see snake in your house, let it be like an intertwined something balance. May it be an intertwined something balance. Someone shared the story with me yesterday.
So that means with the holiday to Australia,
Listen, stop it now. Whoa.
No, Tolu, strike a name of Australia travel.
See, sorry, even me, I can't follow you to Australia. But you can see, what do they call wolfman spiders, the size of a plate.
Those are
I beg.
Scare me.
I beg.
Listen, anything is
so
fine
dangerous.
by me. You see me, I'm a simple girl by nature. Don't stress me. I'm not gonna stress you. Let's just leave the snake in the wild where it belongs with other wildness.
It's all right. Is it not your hair that's coming down?
Yeah, she.
Just because.
Can we take a break? So, because you need to calm down. Blessings, they will lose you for this.
They tell you. Anyway, I must say, let's move on to happier things, Jerry. We got very interesting stories this week. I can't even wait to jump right into them. So let's go on a break.
Welcome back to the show. This is just Siri, and on a Hot Topic Special Friday, we have our guest here, and we're so excited, ladies and gentlemen.
I love this.
Please
Drop
take
the
us to the montage. What?
Ladies, please welcome Peter Akah to the show.
No.
The vibe is real.
It's always vibing. We're always vibing.
Do you know that at first I used to confuse you and this other guy, Philip?
Okay.
That Filipino, there's a guy that does that on TikTok, and I used to confuse. And I saw one of your contents, the one where you were winning souls for Christ.
The right man of God.
Come, let me win your soul. I have other souls to win for Christ. I love it. Well, let me start off by asking Catherine's favorite question. My brother, how are you? No, really.
He said, call on me.
He knows how to anticipate because he watches Justice.
I mean, it's an important question to ask every Nigerian. No matter how much they put up a smile, how are you is a big, question. Well, I'm doing absolutely fine. I'm amazing. In spite of it all, we are alive and there is hope.
Diplomatic Nigeria.
Because I want to ask, what is the in spite of it? Or please define it. Lay it out for us.
In spite of fuel price, electricity, food, bag of rice, everything, cost of living.
Have you bought your bag of rice yet?
Not yet.
So buy bag of rice.
Yes, we are. There is a coming together. We are agreeing, a couple of us that we buy one bag and then, yes.
At this point, you know that somebody was saying it earlier this week. That's what people are doing.
Yeah,
of course. No more bag of rice to one person.
So Peter, so you describe yourself as a content creator and human rights activist. I see your hashtag justice for Nigeria right there. So one thing that struck me is this. So me is two questions in one.
Yes.
Justice for Nigeria, you see a gay hope for this Niger.
Yes.
That's number one.
Okay.
And number two, where commenced the hope?
The hope comes from everyone I'm seeing on this table, including myself.
No, join me.
You don't know. Well, I have absolute hope in Nigeria because even in my personal life, I have been through, even in families, we have difficult situations, but we don't give up on each other. As human beings, once we lose hope, we begin to die. There is always that, instinct that keep pushing. I mean, what do we rather do? Fold our arms and do nothing? What
we've been
defaults all of
doing
us?
things, Peter. We've been doing. People are going to vote. People are protesting. People are talking. People are shouting. We're just off air. We're talking about Dele Farotimi. Someone like a Dele Farotimi is facing the situation he's facing, and he's been a patriot and a fighter for this new Nigeria. We've been doing something.
That is it. We will have to do more with the understanding that great nations are nations that were built by resilient people, no matter the odds. Whenever we meet something that looks like a setback, it should be an opportunity to do more.
Okay. Are you ready to die for this country?
We will not die in Nigeria, we live here. The problem with Nigeria is that there is sufficient anger, but the anger is misdirected. We have not focused or put attention where it should be put. And once we identify the root cause of our problem and address it, we'll begin to see things make progress. But for now, everyone is angry and seems like everything should come down. No, we have to align our priorities and take them one after the other.
So are you a pastor's child? Is any one of your parents a pastor?
I'm Catholic by birth. Peter is my baptismal confirmation.
The rock. The rock on which the church was built.
What should our anger be directed to?
The youths of this nation, they share this sentiment you have because half of the time when I see them, they seem to be living an individualistic life.
Can you
They
blame them,
divorce themselves
Lolo?
of all the things that are around them and just focus on themselves.
Is that part of the direction of anger?
Thank you. It's amazing to be here. Lolo is my boss in the entertainment industry, and she's just and just as my other boss too, Tolu, Ketrin, everybody here are all my bosses.
Except that little
she's running the heavenly race. She's my boss. I mean, we are together.
Well, we need nice comeback. Nice comeback.
He said, what other choice do Nigerians have? Nigerians are some of the most, a lot of people say Nigerians do not love their country, but that is not really true. Nigerians are some of the most patriotic human beings in the world, because if you ask yourself the question, why should a Nigerian be patriotic? What exactly has your country given to you for you to still have hope or faith in it? Every elections, they tell you that we are going to try to make a change. Look at what happened in 2023. People felt that there was, change was within their grasp, and we were trying to reach for it, and then again, it fizzles out. So Nigerians, Nigerian youths are enterprising, we are ingenious. We all just need to come together in unity or in one voice, and then ask ourselves, what exactly do we need to do? From there, we begin. I believe that we can fix this.
I have one question.
It's hot topic, so
I just want to ask, do you believe in the Messiah mentality?
That
I am one of the advocates. I know a lot of people might not share it, but I believe, do you believe in that Messiah? When I say Messiah, that means a lone figure that is going to bring this rallying that you all desire. Because if there's no pivotal person, I don't know how this unity idea
comes to reality. Yes, in fact, it is actually true that whenever there is a kind of socio-political movement that will lead to a certain change, somehow nature brings one charismatic figure who, galvanizes everybody. It happened. Something we had a studio sort of in 2023. There are political personalities or figures who have that kind of cult followership. Yeah. Without mentioning any name, I'm sure you have an idea who that is. People begin to look at their character, their persons, their competencies, and then they feel like we can pitch our tents here. So yes, that Messiah figure will have to come in, and he must have the capacity to pull everybody. He or she. Because it could be you. Who knows?
That's what you get. That's what you get. Please, let's go to our first story. And we haven't been able to touch it this week because there's been a lot happening at the table, but I know Peter will want to dig into this. Now, a Nigerian court has ordered the final forfeiture of a massive estate in Abuja consisting of 753 duplexes. The property, valued as one of the largest asset recoveries in the 21 years of, I think it is, the EFCC, was linked to proceeds of unlawful activities. Now, Justice Jude Onwuegbuzie ruled that the respondent failed to justify the source of the funds used to acquire the property, quote, which has been reasonably suspected to have been acquired with proceeds of unlawful activities, end quote, and that leads to the forfeiture to the federal government. Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission said it relied on provisions from the Advanced Fee Fraud Act and the 1999 Nigerian Constitution to pursue the case. The court decision followed an interim forfeiture order issued on November the 1st, 2024. However, the EFCC has not named the individual connected to the case, rather labeling the person as a former top brass of the government. Let's stop there for now. Let's include the other parts of it, because I know that this issue of not naming the person who owns the property has been a big one. And Blessings, I think you have the details of that.
Yeah. Okay, so to give more detail on that, not too long after this revelation was made, Omoyele Sowore came out to question why the EFCC had withheld the name of the owner of the estate, as he claimed it belonged to the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele. Laolu Akande, the former spokesperson to Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, also said that indeed the properties belonged to the ex-CBN governor. But soon after, the EFCC released a statement titled Sowore and Co-Travelers Tantrums Against EFCC's Landmark Recovery, where they explained that their legal actions were in accordance to the Constitution to seize the unclaimed property, especially after the company flagged denied ownership of it. It's a long read, but we'll just stop.
It's on the screen. Yeah. So, Peter, 753 duplexes sitting in an estate, prime location in Abuja, unclaimed, unfinished, unnamed owner.
Yes.
Almost. When I first heard this, I literally almost fell down. The value of it alone.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It is the unfortunate reality of the Nigerian state.
I'm sorry. I like the way you talk to us.
Listen to the message.
Will you calm down, let the man make his point?
When you hear news or information like this, where your mind should go to immediately is, what are the ones that you do not know about?
I wanted to say, because if this is Abuja, think about all the states, 36 states.
We are talking about one human being, individual, owning 700 and something, assets, duplexes. The level of, unfortunately, that is the Nigerian situation. And then there is a lot of questions to be answered if the EFCC is still withholding the name. Because what would the name lead you to? Are there co-conspirators? Are there people in government who could have been backing this? Are there people, was it a sophisticated criminal enterprise? Who are linked to this? Was he a sole, acting an individual or a lone actor? You understand? But this is the reality of Nigeria, where public office holders are possessed with the spirit of stealing, such that you take what you do not need. And there are no consequences unless you fall out with the ruling government. That is when your own comes out. For as long as you are still in the in bed with the ruling party, no matter what you do, nothing will happen. And a former party chairman told you that when you come to us, your sins are forgiven. This kind of sin can be forgiven.
Tell your hand right
When I told you people I had a guest, I said I had a guest. I want to go to the EFCC statement because they're upset with Omoyele Sowore, and they said that part of the statement says that, however, the denigration of such efforts by they even got his name wrong, but I think typo, Omoyele Sowore, and his think same and act same is unacceptable and grossly uncharitable. Now, they reference the fact that this is part of, as I said, the Advanced Fee Fraud Act that allows for action in rem rather than action in personam. The latter allows legal action against a property and not an individual, especially in a situation of an unclaimed property. The Act allows you to take up a forfeiture proceeding against a chattel property that is not a juristic person. That's exactly what the Commission did. Nobody is faulting the Commission for the manner in which they recovered the asset. And I still think this doesn't yet address what Omoyele Sowore mentioned. Who owns the asset? You will pick up quote-unquote Yahoo boys and be putting their pictures and their names everywhere.
But they're telling you that it's unclaimed.
Look.
That means the property is lying there.
So then they should come out and tell us that they have not traced the owner yet.
Peter said it. Our
better.
guests said it all. You cannot, insofar as they're in bed with the ruling party, your sins are not forgiven. He says, you don't expect them to come out and say this because they all know. And like we said, this is.
How can you have that
you telling me that this is the only property that stands out screaming at you?
So it's even there's a bit of I'm sorry, there's a bit of would I say contradiction here because when we were reading, I heard that they said the owner has refused to release legit. Let me just paraphrase. Legit fund. How they got the fund.
The court said that it had been reasonably suspected that the respondent failed to justify the source of the funds,
and then you come back.
So if there is a respondent, who is the respondent? But then they go on and say that the company that they had flagged actually did say that they denied ownership. So maybe the company flag is considered the respondent, but you can't say the respondent then did not show you justifiable means. It's like you're talking about two separate people.
Whatever is the story with this essay we read from EFCC, what I will say is police. What Igbos will call akuko. Complete story. The EFCC needs to look themselves in the mirror, and if you want to be an anti-graft agency, let us look. Nigerians, we play a lot, and that is why we are not able to address our fundamental problems. The EFCC is Nigeria's leading anti-graft agency that should be fighting corruption, and the reason why Nigeria is brought to its knees today is corruption. But do you know that the past two EFCC chairmen were taken out of office on corruption allegations? That is former Magu and Abdurrashid Bawa. Yes. In fact, Magu, they set up a panel headed by Justice Ayo Salami. What happened to that report? This is the EFCC that he still was looking for Yahaya Bello. He came to the office. They told him to go back. They went back, and it had been back. They had a shootout, and they say, we have an understanding. Don't worry, go. We will come and get you later. So, you know the level of anyhowness and rascality amongst Nigerian institutions. Or in other crimes, there will be a name and shame. That will be the idea of the agency, to set an example that you cannot use public office to amass this level of wealth and luxury for yourself.
This is
so in fact, that should have been at the core of the investigation.
This is sickening and disgusting.
Well, the property, the land that the houses are built on, the fact that we have property on it, unfinished, unused, a landmass is totally taking over 750 something. Abba, what individual? Not a company, not a country. And yet we have housing issues.
Yes.
So I think just lying there.
I need to ask, because this is gonna drag for a while, but what do you think should happen to this property? Because now when you do forfeitures, it is up to the government or the government through the agency to decide what happens. A lot of people are saying that it should be finished and then they should be sold as housing. But you know, at the point when they do that, the average Nigerian is not going to be able to afford this.
It becomes, you know,
it continues in the corruption.
Whatever you nurture will develop. Since Nigeria has built a system of nurturing corruption, corruption will continue to fester. By the time you put it up and say complete it and then sell it out, you have moved to another level of corruption.
Thank you. So what do we do with it?
Do you know that in Nigeria there are state governments that with their commissioners or ministries of lands and housing have not been able to come up with 300 units of houses for civil servants or retirees in those states? And one person...
You deserve it.
These houses would immediately, if there is a complete, open, transparent process where they bring in stakeholders and whatever, given to a transparent body that is independent, it can be used to give civil servants who are on an average, after 30 years, will never be able to afford such a But one person is able to have 750 something. So Nigeria is not a real place. It seems like a simulation.
It's a reality show. It's a reality TV show.
called it on this table, since we are a bunch of clowns.
Yes.
He said we are a bunch of clowns.
Honestly, I kept looking at him. I said, there are so many logical ways to end the matter.
Yes.
But because corruption will not leave them, and they want to keep, the people that are calling these people out are the ones that still want to buy this property and use it for their own selfish
No
purposes.
matter what they do with this property, the corruption will keep festering. It will
Of
just
course.
keep changing hands.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to our next story. But this is, we're staying political still. Peter has given us the ginger we need for this. A Punch investigation into state finances reportedly found that 29 states' governors spent 1.994 trillion on recurrent expenditures, including, Peter, listen to this, including refreshments, sitting allowances, traveling, and utilities in the first 9 months of this year, 2024. The newspaper said that the states obtained loans totaling 533.29 billion naira, while they spent 658.93 billion naira to service debts owed to local, foreign, and multilateral creditors. However, these states fell short in their revenue-generating targets, collecting a total sum of 1.92 trillion naira as internally generated revenue, but fell short of the revenue target of 2.868 trillion naira, recording a deficit of 948.28 billion naira. I'm calling these monies to the T so you understand
yes.
it. Let's not forget that this comes at a time where there's been a 40% in states
Increase, sorry.
40% increase in state statutory allocations from the federation accounts.
You know what?
And you are still recording.
I'm about to get into more
deficits.
data, but we need to go on a break because I need you to balance and be ready to hear the numbers we're going to share. Let's take a quick time out. Absolutely loving it. Our hot topic special guest is with us. Our next story, as Catherine touched on, is about state governors, 29 spending 1.994 trillion on recurrent expenditures, including refreshments, sitting allowances, travel, and utility in the first 9 months of 2024. Now, let me give you the data. First of all, there were 6 states. For the first 3 quarters of this year, data is not available. States. Data not available. Borno, Gombe, Kaduna, Kano, Kwara, Sokoto, and Ogun State do not have the latest data from January to September 2024. We need to flag that. Now, the recurrent data utilized in the report by the Punch did not include personnel cost. It's the state data that I'm really trying to wrap my head around. So listen to this. According to the Punch, Lagos, Plateau, and Delta states spent the highest on their operating expenses, incurring a cost of 375.192 billion, 144.87 billion, and 121.54 billion, respectively. Niger State was the highest borrower within the period, obtaining loans worth 79.09 billion naira. Katsina followed with a loan of 72.89 billion, and Oyo State also got a loan of 62.48 billion naira. Let me finish now. In terms of revenue, Lagos collected the highest, and that is at 912.17 billion naira, followed by River State with a collection of 269.18 billion. Also see the difference in the two. And then third on the list was Delta, which collected 97.02 billion naira. Abia State spent 17.91 billion naira on operating expenses and generated 22.15 billion in revenue, falling short of the 32.14 billion revenue target. Additionally, the state borrowed 3.901 billion and allocated 10.91 billion for debt servicing. Adamawa State spent 41.45 billion on recurrent expenditure, while earning 9.16 billion naira income out of its revenue of 22.24 billion. That's the target. This state borrowed 10 billion naira and paid 22.68 billion to service its debt. One more state, because I think everybody's a little tired. Akah Ibom State's recurrent spending reached 85.45 billion naira in 9 months, 43.98 billion more than its generated revenue of 41.47 billion in 9 months. The state paid 34.47 billion as debt service, but this state did not borrow. you can see that long, Peter. The numbers might just seem overwhelming, but what we are obviously seeing are states that are spending more than they make. They're not financially viable, financially, and there's no fiscal discipline, there's no borrowing
intention of returning.
there's no move to bring down expenditures. We are in a mess, and I've said it on this table before. I think state governors, be it the new ones or the old ones, have done a very successful job in directing the Nigerian attention to the center and to the federal while they are running riots in the states.
Yes, totally.
Look, listen, you see these figures you just listed, as bad as they are and unfortunate as they are, this is not all that we know. These are the ones that are available that we're able to get.
And just 9 months.
And the unfortunate reality about Nigeria is that there is no worst case scenario. Because you think things are this bad does not mean it will not get worse if we do nothing.
We're going back and this.
Why you see this every time Nigeria, people continue to tell you that Nigeria does not have a revenue problem, we have a cost problem. They waste stages in government. And then you see the same government will continue to tell you to make sacrifices. So Nigerians are the gifts that continues giving. While you live in luxury, you privatize profits and socialize losses to the people. And so as long as when you say that state governors have channeled their attention to the federal, it is of course a reality. Within the first 6 months of President Tinubu taking out subsidy, the 36 state governments shared allocation that was more than 13 trillion. That is, allocation have increased to them, and some of them still say they can't pay minimum wage. But what will you say? There is no accountability. With these figures, what do you do? How do you hold the state governor or the president or anybody accountable? That is when Nigeria must pay attention to fixing a system. If you hear that somebody spent something trillion, we heard that the First Lady within about 5 months spent about 700 million on foreign travels. In the budget, they are renovating the Vice President's house in Abuja for 20-something billion, and their residents in Dodan Barracks here in Lagos for more than 10 billion. And remember that the current president is a former governor of Lagos who has his own properties here in Lagos. The Vice President is a former governor of Borno State, yet they are renovating houses where they do not stay. These wastages will continue. Nigerians will be making up for it with our lives. So people will be pushed into more poverty. The political class will be living in more luxury until we come together and say, enough. Then it will be enough. But until then, by next week, we'll continue reading even more dire figures.
So, you said something about holding people to account. Let's not forget the 6 states that you don't even have any accounts. From January to September 2024, they have nothing official to show. And I remember that was a massive issue. Budget releases a state of the state. And they flag over and over again the number of states that sometimes do not even put their budgets online, so people can't even go and say you just go to the State House of Assembly, please sir, they submit, well done governor, and then they go.
It's guesswork for any other
and
person.
Then they're not held accountable because they are not providing the data
There
needed.
is no data.
People,
how do you hold somebody accountable when there's no paper trail?
Between January and September, how can you not have anything to show?
Just like Peter said, honestly, we would. Half of the time when we talk on this table, there's hardly any new song we have ever sung. We're just singing it on different issues. These numbers that we're reading, as alarming as it is, there is nobody that can question them. And if you question this government, you better be sure, you better fortify yourself with both traditional and spiritual, because they will use everything to use.
So it was even then that they used to fight you behind. Now
they fight you
lose your job on the spot just for questioning. Okay, how did we? I mean, I can't remember. Was it House or the Senate that stood to question, and they were like, no, they
point of order or something.
To explain it away. Like you were seeing everything and accountability.
Reading those numbers, I was getting a headache because we're talking just 29 states, and there are 36
just
states
9 months
in this country, and this is just in 9 months. Just like Tolu said, federal government, we are our shoulders are bowed over with debts, and we do not even have an outer of how to service them. And yet we're incurring more. Like the last time that we had a tax expert in the building that told us that they've already made provisions for these things in the budget. So that even though they are not ready, whenever they are ready, they just have to call that section out and say, okay, we are now ready to borrow some more money. And that is all. We cannot continue to live like this. We will implode eventually.
As we're talking, that's why Tolu was saying these two. And Blessings was saying we can't, and we keep saying we can't get any backer than this. We are getting the backer.
Well,
we are getting backer.
when he said that there's no worst case scenario in Nigeria, because when you see worse,
And then there's next year, and
What's
everybody is kind of anxious and a bit worried, thinking about how the first 3 months of the new year is going to be.
And
like.
then do not
We are
forget
still battling things we haven't resolved this year.
If you over-question, not only losing your job, you can now get to the judiciary and then you are remanded. Because today in Nigeria, the judicial arm of government has become the legal department of any party in power. So before you know, they take you before a magistrate and then deny you bail, and then you are somewhere. So even those who try to question the anomaly are now seen as enemies of the state, where known terrorists and criminals are given,
on TikTok.
are empowered on TikTok.
Doing
and they are
giveaway.
given
Yeah.
So that is the country
So,
we have.
Peter, let me ask, because your content is not necessarily what I consider like the typical Nigerian skip maker, content creator kind of content. You actually speak to some of these political issues. Are you afraid? Because we've seen people picked up for anything. We talked about Hamdia CD, a young girl in I don't want to get the state wrong. A young girl in one of the northern states who was using her TikTok to be calling on the governor to come out and sort the issues. Villages are being razed, women are being raped and kidnapped. And she was picked up. And part of the picking up is that she's insulting the governor, she's calling the name of his family, but she's on TikTok using social media. She's a content creator. Are you afraid?
I am more passionate about seeing things work. And my passion and my drive is in the knowledge that truth will always prevail.
When?
I am concerned most times because a lot of people come to me, and of course you can imagine what my mother, she's on social media, she's a widow, and then when people call her, but she had a conversation with me and she told me that it is worrisome to her for the fact that she listens to what I say and it is the truth. And the fact that people are concerned about my safety because you are saying the truth shows us that there is a problem. But I have always known that to stand up for whatever is true, there will always be difficulties. There will always be challenges. But what do? People are dying even without speaking up. So no matter what I do, I get messages, people will tell you, we know where you are, we are doing this and all of that. But this Nigeria, we will not die here. I will live here and Nigeria will work in my lifestyle. So planning to harm anybody is a waste of plan. Just focus on building the economy.
Building the economy.
Let's take that last story because that one is juicy.
Which one is juicy?
Okay, we have to debate. Ladies, we only have time for 2 stories. So we're going to let's leave it to our guest. Peter, we have 2 stories.
Okay.
Ogun State PRO said that the rise of ritual killings and disappearances of girls is because of hookup culture, or Pastor Adegboyega from Tobi in the UK. Your choice. Roll the dice.
Either ways.
What's that? When I say your choice, I expect you to make a choice.
I mean now, this show.
Pastor.
Pastor. Yeah?
Which story?
Pasta.
Yes.
Okay, Kat, take it from
Pastor. All right, so our next story, we tagged it Pastor. Yeah. So our next story takes us to Nigerian British Pastor Tobi Adegboyega. He's a senior pastor of Salvation Proclaimers Anointed Church, also known as SPAC, who lost his appeal against deportation from the United Kingdom following allegations of fraud totaling £1.87 million. Now, if you don't know, he can sometimes be seen with celebrities like Davido. Now, this case has drawn widespread attention due to the pastor's controversial leadership and the significant role his church once played within black communities in London. Adegboyega, who initially went to the UK in 2005 on a visitor's visa, overstayed and has since been living in the country unlawfully.
Are you kidding me?
His church, Spark Nation, was once praised for its outreach efforts, particularly with the vulnerable youth and offenders. However, it faced heavy scrutiny starting in 2019 after allegations of financial exploitation surfaced.
Now, in 2022, SPAC Nation was shut down by the UK government due to financial mismanagement and a lack of transparency. Government investigations revealed inconsistent records, suspicious expenditures, and claims of exploiting vulnerable church members. Now God knows they find there to donate money through loans and other means like donating their blood.
Yes, blood donation for money.
Additionally, there are reports of lavish lifestyles among the church leadership, further undermining its credibility. Now, during his appeal, Adegboyega argued that deportation would violate his human rights under the European Convention on Human Rights, ECHR, citing his marriage to a British citizen and his work in the community. Now, despite these claims, The tribunal upheld the Home Office's decision, citing compelling evidence of financial irregularities and allegations of cult-like practices within his organization. Tobi Adegboyega has responded, saying that every Nigerian should be proud of him. Yep, you heard right. Let's listen to him.
Let's say so.
Hi, good evening. Let me pause this. I've read a lot today, and I'm doing this because of our fans, our friends, people who are worried. I'm right here at home, no cause for alarm, and naturally I'll dismiss things that has to do with retrogression. Every Nigerian should be proud of me. Being in the UK, a city that is well known for pulling people down, I've survived all sorts. So the matter that they are propagating now is the smallest of matter. In Yoruba, they say, "Toba le ni bi kon darisi abilusi." No, they didn't leave me. But what I'm trying to say is no panic.
You know, I just
Wait,
Peter,
wait, Peter.
This word is rigorous. I mean, okay, so he is a man of God.
Please, you say acclaimed.
Okay, I'm asking, it's a question. Okay, it's a man by God. It's unfortunate what, the veil of religion has become and how, that institution and title has been bastardized by every person. And today we are seeing what we are seeing because by mere looking, I see him on social media and I see him most times with celebrities and I used to think he's probably a manager of one of the celebrities. I didn't know, that he was a, man of God or an ordained pastor. But now
He's not ordained. He's a man of God.
Who ordained him?
Okay, I wouldn't know. But when I see this kind of story, do you know what comes to my mind? Instead of going because discussing people and these issues like this are even trivial, what checks immediately is that this is a consequence of a system that works. Somebody is investigating SPAC. Tobi Adegboyega is being held accountable for whatever alleged offense or wrongdoing.
Yeah.
So I am stuck here in this country of Nigeria, and where there is lots of religious houses, every 5-meter walk and every 5 minutes drive you turn.
Yes.
And people are running rogue in the name of running religious houses, miracle centers.
Running rogue in the name of running religious centers. Wow.
And then nobody holds anybody accountable. It is uhuru for anybody. Somebody can sell anointed water, can sell anointed soup. Somebody can come out and tell you that he's doing anything. And guess what? He's friend to a politician and nothing happens to him.
Even if he's not friend to a politician, as long as there's money,
there is sufficient resources. So they take from there, empower themselves, go to legal firms now. Men of God are some of the best clients of lawyers. They have real estate, they have big enterprise. There is just so much that is out there. So when I see a story like this, it immediately refreshes my mind to the country where I am stuck.
Yeah.
And these religious leaders, some of them are so influential, they have the capacity to sway an election and decide the fate for Nigerians, but they will rather hold on to their own, because it is like, don't let them point its searchlights here. If you want to audit church account or anything, you will see the venom of religious leaders.
no, remember when I think there was an NGOs bill and a bill for churches as well. The way the churches in Nigeria rose up against that bill.
You will see Pentecostal fellowship. You will see these bishops of this.
You'll see all of them.
On the jugular.
I'm just so happy the way he said it. He said this is a consequence of a
system that works.
System that works.
Yeah.
And imagine they are investigating him.
Yeah, they're holding him accountable.
All this one is just doing is medicine after death.
Yes.
He has the right of his opinion.
Everything. No, they will let him do the rounds. Nobody's going to force him out.
Yeah.
They are going to go through the legal channel.
Yes.
And it's open to everyone to follow.
Exactly.
Unlike here, when we see the start of an investigation, we never see the end of it.
And I don't know how many of you have watched. There is a BBC documentary about SPAC. I watched it many years ago when he really first started gaining, I won't even say fame, so a level of notoriety. Because yes, there was a part where in the beginning the church or the organization was noted as one that went into the communities and helped young black men. Young black men. We talked about it earlier this week. The boy who sued his parents. There's a black crime situation in London and its boroughs and in the UK, and knife crime is a big issue, and young black men have issues in the UK, and so the church was known for going to them. But then people started coming out. You're getting separated from your family. You're being allegedly not being able to contact your family. You hand over all your credit cards. If you have property, you sell it. If you need to live with the church, live with a partner, you're being monitored. And then now it gets to the point where people are asked to donate blood in order to make money for the organization. Again, allegedly. But family members and former SPAC members have come out to speak. So an investigation was waiting to happen. But it also reminds me of another Nigerian pastor who was being investigated in the UK. What did he do? He ran back to Nigeria.
Yes.
And is he still not in Nigeria now? Yeah. He has not been handed over to face justice or to face his accusations in the UK. A system that continues to, what did you say, to help corruption grow. What are we?
I mean, right now, UK is telling us, with this one now, is telling us that these are systems that work. A former deputy senate president of Nigeria is cooling off in a UK prison.
But if he was in Nigeria, what would have happened?
In fact, Nigerian politicians wrote to the UK telling them that they should leave the case and for him to come back here. The UK court told them that they do not recognize such kind of notoriety and request, and that they are going ahead. Today he's there with the wife and the doctor. A number 4 citizen in Nigeria is in the UK prison. Nigerians will continue to read this story. The question is, here where we are victims of worse scenarios, worse situations.
Yes.
The question is, where is our rescue coming from? Where is our own help coming from?
We asked you if you had hope.
Nigerians is in the Lord.
That's why you do hashtag justice for Nigeria.
Justice for Nigeria.
When people say the country is a crime scene, why won't we be doing
It's an
hashtag
open
justice?
crime scene.
Honestly, Peter,
Yes.
please, can you be back?
I need to. Can he be back?
Honestly, you need to be back.
It's such a wholesome conversation. My head is exploding. I am wondering when we are going to ever see the impunity that churches are.
Not just churches, also religious organizations.
Sorry, let me rephrase. Religious houses and bodies.
Yes.
It is beginning to rub off on me wrong because there seems to be no accountability, even within the circles. There's one I knew of. I told them privately that I knew that this person was doing this because he happened to somebody close. And I was so like, okay, they're figuring him out now. We need to stand up. What can we? We can't stand up.
Sorry, Lolo.
30 seconds, Peter. We have to go.
If I want to tell you, for you to check it, if everybody,
30 seconds, go ahead.
if everybody in Nigeria, we are as religious as we are, everybody goes to a church or a mosque or somewhere, how come the nation is as dysfunctional as
It's the question I've always
Who is
asked.
committing the offense?
It's a wrap for this week. Thank you so much, Peter, for being our hot topic special guest. I think you're one of the first to get a round of applause for the ladies. Standing. All right, we can't stand here. We gotta go before they kick us out. Have a pleasant weekend, and we'll see you on Monday morning, 10 a.m. West African time, kicking things off in this spirit of joy, celebration, and obviously some hope as well. Be with us, and of course, we'll be here for you. Have a good one. Bye.